Hey guys, before we get started, we want to shout out all of our awesome partners, including Hicks Chiks, Trinity Medical, Gregg Vet, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Weeks Furniture, and all of the awesome partners that you see on the screen right now. Make sure to do business with them, and we hope you enjoy the show. Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight, here for another 18th episode of Champion Sports Talk with my man, Mr. Joey Martin. How are you?
I'm glad to be here. Dustin told me 18. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, who would have ever thought it? So, who would have thunk it?
It's been fun.
That's right. Sure. That's right. We do this every Thursday morning at 10:30 at Magnolia Bluff Casino, right here in the beautiful Playmakers Sportsbook room. And as always, we're driven by Sango GMC. Sango's got a new place over in Vidalia, and they're doing their ribbon cutting, I think, as we speak right now. Right. Wish we could be there, but you know, we got dozens of fans out there that are tuning in, so we got to be there for them. So that's right. So we got to be there for our fans. And real quick before we get started, I wanted to say Wardo's has their run coming up this Saturday. So if you haven't registered for that, go ahead and. It's for the Ward Granting Scholarship, and they're going to give away a scholarship to, I think all the Natchez schools and the Concordia Parish school, too, they're going to pick. So I want to say it's like 5 scholarships they're giving away. Awesome. So it's a great cause. It'll be a fun time. So, and then, as always, we're thinking about our military guys and gals overseas with this crazy world. And anyway, we got a very special guest today.
We do.
So we're going to keep we won't give it away quite yet, and we'll get through the local, and then we'll bring him on. And but we'll go ahead and knock out our local stuff. What are we looking like this week?
A bunch of local.
A lot going on.
Yes, tournament time. It's man, Monterey tournament just completed Friday, and what a great tournament that was. Vidalia Faraday competed in it, and man, they had some great games, especially that last Faraday Monterey boys game came down to the wire. And just all the teams doing well. I know they said the atmosphere was really special, and I know Faraday and Vidalia enjoyed being there, and certainly Monterey enjoyed having them. But,
yeah.
A good deal for them. Monterey split with LaSalle on Tuesday. Boys won 61-32. Jack Magoon, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 4 steals.
He seems like a good player, huh?
Yeah, he is. He really is.
Second or third time I've heard his name from you since we've been covering him.
He's really stepped up.
Yeah.
Monterey girls lost 54-36. Addie Lacaz, what a year she's having. 20 points, 6 rebounds, and I think she's about 55 points away from 1,000. They play Vidalia tonight at Vidalia, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be 2 really good games. Faraday split with Delhi Charter, and that was an interesting game. The girls lost 46-22, and they won 46-22, but they stopped the game with 4 minutes to go because one of the Delhi Charter girls swung at a Faraday girl.
Oh my goodness!
Lisa said they let it get out of hand, and it just
got heated. Yeah. Okay.
Faraday boys were up 12-0 and ended up losing by 1 point. So then it's still a good game for them. They're playing well. Sean Davis took he said, I put my subs in too early, and that came back to bite me. But Mike Kelly had 18 points.
And they're still early. They're still early on the season because they had that playoff
He's
game.
playing a lot of young kids. So Delta Charter still trying to find their groove. They're struggling a bit, but, he was left with hardly nothing.
Yeah.
So they're still out there trying, so give them that.
Yeah.
Delta Charter girls, they won their first game, beat Washington 5-0. Of course, Emma Graves, 2 goals, 2 assists. Lainey Sharp, she's always has a great game, and she had 2 goals and an assist. J.C. McFarland also scored a goal, so congratulations to them as well. And we had Brookhaven swept Cathedral Tuesday. So the boys are 7-5, and so are the girls. But, they were just kind of outmatched there. You play at Brookhaven.
My buddy Dennis Hogue over there, he's probably still over there doing his thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He loves it. Yeah, he's been there a long time doing it.
The poor girls, their game, Lily Bertelson, their best player, hurt on the first play, so that was a big blow to them as well. but he's playing 4 freshmen. AC dropped. Well, the boys won big over Centerville. The girls lost by just a little bit.
Okay.
That was Monday. They play at WCCA tonight. Natchez boys and girls still doing well, 7-2, both of them. They swept Macomb, so good job there. I'm anxious to see it get into district time, and games will, certainly mean a lot more and be more competitive and just get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, and I think I saw where Lily Crum visited.
Yeah, Co-Lin,
and it looks like she
gave
him a
commitment. She committed to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Co-Lin's getting a heck of a picture there.
So she's got one more season though, right?
Yeah.
At Cathedral. So she committed as a junior.
Right.
Yeah.
And first thing.
Yeah, they're getting a good player there.
Yeah, and I was talking with Blake Wheeler. Louisiana Christian offered Javari Singleton, their quarterback, to play fullback there, and which Javari's excited about. But like I told Blake, once these other schools, and other schools looking at them, we need to check them out. So that can have a domino effect.
Yeah. And Louisiana Christian's kind of getting a little pipeline to Concordia Parish.
It is. It sure is.
With Samaje and some of the guys that Chris, some of the guys who didn't play yet. But I mean, I think as of last year, there were 3 Vidalia players on the roster. So I mean, it looks like somebody over there's got their eye on Concordia Parish.
They made the playoffs first time ever this past year, so the good things are going on there.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on the local front?
I think we about got it covered. We got to mention our boy Traylon Minor.
Yeah. They Co-Lin, former Natchez High running back. They played at Texas. I can't remember exactly the town and the bowl, but they played at Texas. They had an excellent year. They played in their championship. They lost their championship, but they did make a bowl, and they went and won that game. So Co-Lin's got a lot of good things going on, and like I think we said last week, I can't remember if it was on or off air, but they really want us to come over there and visit. Yeah. And we'll have to make that happen.
I'd love to
soon. So
that'd be great.
So so what we'll do is we got a guy that knows a little bit about playing sports, and
he played it well.
And he's gonna come on. I think our guest. He tells me not to call him Mister, but it's Mr. Tony Byrne. I can't not call him Mister because it's it's just the way I was raised. And but what a great guy. And what we'll do is we'll take a quick break, and we'll have Mr. Tony on here to. Who knows where we'll go? Yeah. So we'll be right back.
Good stuff.
We'll be right back after this quick break. Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. I want to tell you about our awesome partners, J.E. Hicks Distributing Company, also known as Hicks Chiks. Hicks Chiks is a local, family-owned food distribution company that has been serving the Miss Lou since 1945. You already know they serve all of your favorite restaurants, but did you know they are also open to the public? Hicks has a variety of food products, including delicious heat and eat options like chicken and dumplings, white bean chicken chili, lasagna, and gumbo. They also carry a wide variety of seafood options like shrimp, crabs, tuna steaks, salmon, and catfish. And don't forget about their famous TNT burgers that are already pattied up for you and their amazing dessert options. So go see the awesome team at Hicks Chiks at 1380 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Natchez. Hicks Chiks, way more than just chicken.
Welcome to your new hospital, Trinity Medical. Located in Faraday, Trinity Medical is the only acute care facility in the Tri-Parish area. Here you will find an active pursuit of holistic health, a strong, honest group of clinicians, and a consciousness of others that transcends the 80,000 square feet committed to you and your loved ones. Trinity Medical. People you know, caring for people you love.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We're out at our awesome partners, Gregg Veterinary Clinic, and we are in the back in the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. I'm standing in the Magnolia Bell Suite, which is one of 5 elite boarding suites available to your 4-legged furry friends when you travel this summer. Each suite comes with a private bed, flat screen TV, 24/7 video monitoring, and a sliding door so your pet feels like they're home. They provide one-on-one walking and activities in a fenced-in private backyard. So call Gregg Vet Hospital today and request your pet suite at the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. They'll leave the light on for you. Call Gregg Veterinary Hospital today.
My name is Yvonne Ivory. I'm the lab director here at Trinity Medical. I have 40 years of medical laboratory experience.
Hello, my name is Mary Cubic. I am Trinity Medical Outpatient Specialist, and I've been doing this for over 40 years.
Our lab offers numerous services. We have an exceptional outpatient department. We provide phlebotomies and venipunctures for tests requested by physicians. Trinity Lab has the newest, most innovative equipment for specimen processing, yielding quick turnaround times for results. Doctors are able to diagnose and treat patients in a timely manner for faster healing. Our newest addition is our in-house microbiology department.
Hi, I'm Fayla Gidon, and I am the lead microbiology tech here at Trinity Medical. I have over 24 years of experience, and this is our brand new microbiology department. So if the doctors suspect infection, that's where we bring the cultures back here. We set them up on different types of media, depending on what type of culture it is. So if we have some growth, it'll be something like this. So we do some offline tests where we determine if it's gram positive, gram negative, and then we're able to set it up on our machines, and it's able to tell us the organism. It gives us an ID, and it also gives us a sensitivity, which shows the doctor what drug will treat the patient and kill the organism.
Here at Trinity, we are committed to providing excellent patient care and services to promote the healing of our patients and our community.
All right, guys, we are back with, I'm just going to say Tony Byrne.
Thank you.
We're back with Tony Byrne. I was thinking earlier this morning, Joey, we were talking about our 18th episode, and, days like today with Miss Tony, with Tony on the show today, then this is what makes it all worth it, man, to have awesome people to come on. We've had so many good guests, and this is another just exciting day. It's an honor for us to be able to not only cover the kids here in the Miss Lou, but to talk to the coaches and the guys who have been representing this area for so long. So we appreciate you coming to spend some time with us today.
Delighted to be here, and I know you want to talk some ancient history, so
Look,
that's part of Natchez. Everything's ancient.
It's just an honor for us to be able to do this, and we've had such a great response in these first 18 shows,
okay.
and we just enjoy talking sports. So I know I've interviewed you before about your life, but it'd be fun just to talk some sports.
Yeah, most people can't remember that. It's been so long, so long ago.
Oh,
but,
goodness.
Most people remember the public life, but they don't remember particularly high school, college life.
Yeah, well, you got more people to remember than you think, because I hear it all the time say, he was one heck of an athlete.
Thanks.
Sure.
So, Joey, in saying all that, I think what we'll do is I'll pass the ball over to you and let you kind of start it out, and we'll just go from there. We'll just hang out and see where it goes.
Well, like Ronnie said, man, it's a privilege. We go way back, Tony.
Go a long ways.
So I'm excited to have you here. I'm going to start off just basic facts. Tony set the Big 8 conference record for single season touchdowns. Just 32 touchdowns?
32.
You were also the only person to win a scoring title in football and basketball in the Big 8. Of course, the Big 8 was kind of like the SEC West.
Okay,
Back
that's what I
then,
was
they
going to
didn't
say.
have playoffs. They had, and even North Natchez was in that conference later.
So the Big 8, this is a high school conference, right?
That's correct. That was the biggest conference in the state.
And it was more than just 8 schools. It was I don't have to say this, the largest white schools in those days because we were under segregation during that period, but it was the largest white schools. I assume it must have started with eight schools, but it just expanded. In fact, before it was over, I think Jackson had 4 in.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
4 in this conference. But
I mean, to do what you did in that conference was just averaged 180 yards a game, 1,802 yards in 10 games, 240 receiving yards. Yeah, y'all passed the ball back then, huh?
Well, Clyde Adams was our quarterback,
Yeah.
and Clyde was a pretty good quarterback. He went to Mississippi State after high school.
Mhm.
In fact, we had four of our guys went to state on football scholarships.
Right.
Including you. Right?
No, I went on basketball.
Oh, you went on basketball. Okay, I'm sorry.
You played with Bailey Howell,
Yeah.
Celtic grad.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
With some other
But you went to
names.
Mississippi State on scholarship for
Yeah.
sport. Yeah.
basketball.
You set the single game record, 42 points in a game.
That was in the Big 8 finals. Yeah.
Wow. I ask kids this all the time when they have these huge games. What's it like when you just feel like nothing can stop you and everything you throw up's going in?
Well, you're zoned in on the game, and I didn't know it. I kept scoring. I kept thinking, when am I going to get to 30 points and they'll take me out of here or something? 'Cause we were beating them pretty bad, and I didn't realize that I had like 26 points in the first half and didn't realize it. You just worried about the ball game.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until it was all over and they started telling me what happened that I realized because I'd never gotten to 40 points in the regular season, but I was shooting for 30 and passed it up.
And so where was that game held at?
That one was held in Laurel,
Okay.
and by that time the Big 8 had broken up a little bit. You had a North and a South, and we won the South in Gulfport the week before.
Okay.
And my first year, well, not my first year when I played, because I played as a sophomore, the first championship we had was in 1953 in basketball, and Coach A.I. Rexinger was the coach. And Coach Rex had been there for years and years and years. And then Coach Rex retired and went into the business of Rex Sporting Goods. And then Claude Porter came in to be our coach. And we had been used to playing with Claude at like Christmas time, pickup games and all that kind of stuff. So had to quit calling Claude and start calling him Coach. So we went back, and I'd like to tell one story particularly about my friend Clyde Adams, who was a tremendous coach around here. But after we won the Big 8 in 53, we had 3 all Big 8 guys, which would have been all state in those days if they didn't call it that. And it was Louis Brown, Clyde Adams, and myself. And so the next year when Claude came in, we thought we could just run all over everybody because we had 3 all-state boys back. And then Bill Williams came in out of Indiana, who was a good ball player too. And Don Brown was a 5th one. And at Christmas time, we'd already lost 2 ball games. So we couldn't figure out what was going on. So Coach Porter called us all in, and we finally figured out the 3 of us that came back, we were all shooters. Nobody was passing the ball.
One ball.
Fighting over that ball.
Uh,
And the year before, Alan Warren had been our basically point guard. So we knew we had to have somebody to distribute the ball. So Clyde said, I'll do it. So Clyde became the point guard.
oh, wow.
And he didn't score as much from there. In fact, he was one of the last ones I knew that shot a 2-hand set shot way back there. And anyhow, we won the Big 8 conference again. And Louis and I made all Big 8 again, but Clyde did not. So he sacrificed himself for the team. Which
That's the way he's always been.
Well, I think it's a good lesson for anybody out there that you have to have a leader somewhere. And Louis and I were shooters, and Clyde was the leader.
Well, I want to bring up Coach Rexinger again. I mean, I would talk to people about Red Robertson at Fairview, and everybody would all say the same thing. He was ahead of his time. He was doing stuff then that everybody was doing later. I think Coach Rex was a lot like that.
Coach Rex, when I was a freshman in high school, I was playing B-team ball, but also varsity ball, because Coach Rex, I was fast, but 120 pounds, I guess. And anyhow, he had me up there to run back kicks and punts, particularly, and hold for extra points. But Coach Rexinger was one heck of a good football coach. And basketball, he won, I don't know, about 5 or 6 all Big Eight titles. But the way he learned basketball, he read a book by Adolph Rupp from Kentucky, and he believed in that. You passed the ball with 2 hands back then, and as we came along, we were starting doing jump shots and all that. It was getting a little ahead of Coach Rex, but he adjusted to it. You know, don't throw the ball the full court length of that type thing. But you know, we started doing that, and Coach Rex adjusted to that. But he was a heck of a football player in a community college, and he was a little bitty thing, as you probably remember. Oh, yeah. But he had one heck of a voice. He could scare the hell out of us. And whenever he spoke, we listened. And he had a tremendous spy system in Natchez, because we didn't have TV or anything in those days. But Coach Rexinger knew where you were and what you were doing. So don't go out and think you're going to get by with it.
Get away with anything, huh?
And y'all played your ball games at the City Auditorium.
City Auditorium was one we didn't get killed down there. You had about from here to the end of that table.
Is that back on Homachita?
No,
that's right
across over here.
Oh my goodness!
City Auditorium.
I thought for some reason you played your ball behind the school over on Homachita.
Well, we did football.
Oh, football. Okay.
And basketball, we had a gym over there that was smaller than City Auditorium.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
So you learn to put on brakes in a hurry, or you're gonna hit a brick wall in the gym down at the City Auditorium.
They played basketball in the City Auditorium.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Well, you would run up on that end, you'd run into the stage if you didn't stop. On the other end, it was where you came into the doors were. You'd roll down and out into if somebody hit you.
It's like playing a pickup ball in somebody's driveway.
Yeah,
the driveway's
exactly.
got their own little
their
own little quirks. Yeah.
You learn to stop in a hurry.
So you had a real home field advantage.
Yeah, we did. Of course, back then, it like say no TV, anything like that. So following the basketball, football, high school was real big back then, and basically one white school, of course, had Sadie Thompson on the other school, and but everybody followed you because that was all they basically had to do.
Yeah, and you started football and basketball. When did you start getting significant play time? Was it freshman or sophomore? Or?
Freshman. I wasn't supposed to play varsity because, like I said, I really did weigh about 120 pounds, but I was fast, and I could. Coach Rexinger knew that. As long as I wasn't going through the line getting hit. Yeah. But I got hurt the last ball game we played. I pulled a muscle right where my hip is back here, and it's eventually what happened is it bled and became well, they call it an ossified hematoma on the itching bone, whatever that means. But basically, it was just a calcium deposit right here. And Dr. Whittington, when I got hurt, said, that boy's not going to play ball anymore. And of course, you know, the young say, oh, heck yeah, I'm going to play. But I realized I couldn't run. And so my daddy took me to the only orthopedic around here was in Jackson named Dr. Blake. And he said, you're through. And wow. So he gave me he said, you're going to have to sit on a pillow and let that thing dissolve. Nowadays, all they probably have to do is give you a shot. It was all over. But back then, they didn't know what to do. So I sat on a pillow for 3 years in high school. And
I remember you telling me about the pillow.
I would carry the pillow around, and everybody would tease me about it.
I remember
Except when I got to class, I didn't sit on those hard seats. But eventually, they told me I could play basketball. So the coaches let me be a manager. And my job was to get the guys out on the field. And I went to the gym and shot by myself for 2 hours. I won many a ball game by myself. But I could play basketball, but couldn't play football. But finally, I just decided I was going to try. I would go out at spring practice, my legs would give away. So finally, my senior year, I was able to play football. and they started giving away just about the last 2 ball games that I played. And the last ball game we played, you were talking about Coach Robinson. We didn't have any whirlpools or anything those days, and he had built one over there out of a calf trough. So that Coach Parker, by that time, sent me over there, and I got in that thing. They had to help me out because it was so hot. But I knew after that I didn't think I could take the beating.
So if I'm following correctly, you played your freshman year. We're talking football. You played your freshman year, and then most of your senior year, not in between.
None in between.
Yeah.
So Tony, I know you had to, if you'd had the 3-point line back then, how much would that have bumped up your score?
Not a whole lot, because I didn't shoot from outside a whole lot in high school. I was more of a driver, fast break type thing, which when I got to college was okay my freshman year, but they changed coaches. And Coach McCarthy came in, and he was basically a 4-point, 4-corner offense.
Yeah.
Throw the ball around and wait for an open shot. We didn't have a clock back then either. Boring as heck to me.
Just passing it back.
Yeah. Find somebody could shoot one somewhere. Just wasn't my style of playing basketball. So I actually played 2 years with Coach McCarthy and said I've had enough. And I really had wanted my sophomore year to go to Delta State, where Clyde had moved to. Fred Foster, Joe Ide, Bob Deering, Floyd Epinette, Joe Smith, who went to LSU and then transferred up to there. I wanted to go over there with them, but the first game my sophomore year at basketball, they called me off the floor to tell me my daddy had died. So then I basically couldn't transfer for a while. And finally, when they got the estate settled, I said, Coach McCarthy and I don't get along. I'm sure it's all his fault. But I did at the time, Joey, think about going back out for football, because by that time, Coach Parker, who was my coach here, and Jim Champion, who was Joe Fortunato's brother-in-law, were both coaching at Mississippi State, and Darrell Royal was the head coach.
Wow.
And Darrell Royal later went to Washington and Texas. So I went to Darrell Royal, and I said, I don't think I'm going to get along with the basketball coach. And I'm thinking about coming back out for football. He said, well, you've been out 2 years. You'll have to give up your scholarship and walk on. I said, I'm not that dumb. I'll just stay right where I am. So finally, my senior year, I just said, I knew I wasn't going to play pro ball anywhere. So I said, I've had enough. And enjoyed my senior year, being in fraternity, and met a whole lot of people that helped me in business and politics.
Absolutely. He hates when I tell this story, but back in 1999, I said, well, it'd be fun to have people vote on who's the best athlete in the Miss Lou from the 1900s.
Uh-huh.
If it would have been a fight, they would have stopped it in the first round. He won by a landslide. And just, I had people calling in, not just praising him as an athlete, but remembering him in the classroom, being nice to him, and just all kind of great stories. It was like, that was a lot of fun.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate what you did back then.
Joey Porter was second, and Perry Lee Dunn was third.
Yeah.
Let's transition into that, because that's one of the things that I wanted to kind of pick both of your brains about, is some of the athletes from this area who have stood out to both of y'all over the years. Who are some of the guys who
there's been
really jump out? I know there's a lot of them. I love hearing some of the stories about those guys.
Well, go ahead. Well, like you say, Clyde Adams, and a lot of your teammates were certainly.
Well, we had four: Clyde Adams, Louis Brown, Walter Flowers, and Jack Benson. And Jack Benson became an all-SEC lineman, and so Jack made Louis. Louis was probably the best natural athlete I'd ever seen.
All those Browns.
Yeah, but Louis could do anything. Coach Parker always thought he'd make a great NFL receiver, but he quit and started playing baseball, which was his first love. But Jack Benson made all SEC. Of course, Perry Lee Dunn was probably one of the best football players anywhere, and I thought he was probably as good in high school as he was in pro.
Huh.
But he was like a 19, 20-year-old when he was a senior in high school. But he went to Ole Miss, and in my opinion, Coach Vaughan up there messed him up by changing him around to running back to linebacker to everything. I think if he had gone to LSU with Mike Morgan, he probably would have been an All-American down there. But barely played pro ball for a while. But the one that stands out to most everybody, two of them, are Allen Brown and Joe Fortunato. But Joe is not from Natchez, but he's from Mingo Junction, Ohio.
Okay.
And but he went to Mississippi State, ended up in state, and married a girl from Franklin County, Nenny Gregory. And so it became his home. And of course, everybody followed Joe, and then Allen came along later. And everybody loved him. So we have the Joe Fortunato, Allen Brown golf tournament where we college football college Hall of Fame group.
And the people he brought in, just amazing for that tournament.
Both of those guys played pro ball, right?
Yeah, in fact, Allen had the first two Super Bowl rings. They didn't call them Super Bowls then with Green Bay.
Yeah.
But he had the first two championship rings, which became Super Bowl. Joe won the NFL championship one year, but they didn't. That was it. They didn't have what they call a Super Bowl or even a playoff with another league, because it was not another league. It was just one league. But Joe played 13 years as a linebacker in the NFL.
And he was actually, I think the NFL had their all-decade teams, and he was on one of those teams.
Yeah. He's there's a big poster that I have on Lake St. John that's of the outstanding linebackers for the Chicago Bears. There's been a lot of them.
Yeah.
Butkus comes to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Singletary, yeah, they got
and then Joe coached 2 years in pro ball. He was a defensive coordinator for the Bears for a while. But I was at the ball game when Joe scored the only touchdown he ever scored in the NFL. They were playing the Colts, and Johnny Unitas was under center. Under center. And somehow or another, when he centered the ball, it just bounced up in the air. And Joe was linebacker. Joe just ran under it and scored.
So look what I got.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of us from Natchez that had taken the train up there. So we got to see him score, the only one he ever scored.
That's awesome.
He had to show out for y'all.
But you got Hugh Green, who was a run-up to the Heisman Trophy.
And that was Natchez.
North Natchez.
North Natchez.
They changed the name so many times, it's kind of hard to keep.
Thompson.
Hugh Green had a great NFL career, right? Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been some great Danny Knight and just so many that of course across the river, Keith Woodside and Eddie Ray Jackson. But
what about
Walter Johnson?
Well, we had back in Faraday when they won 53 in a row, 54 in a row. He had Max Fugler, who was an All-American and blew his knee out, so he didn't get to play pro ball. Had Max from over there. He was on that team in '59 when Billy Cannon made a tremendous run. That I was.
Red Owens was also on that team.
Yeah.
What about a couple of the Day guys?
Donnie Day.
Did they play down there too?
Donnie was playing at the same time on that championship with Diesel as a coach down there. And
of course, Darryl walked on at LSU and got a scholarship.
Okay, and Darryl coaches, right?
He was coaching.
Okay.
He's retired. In South Carolina now.
Okay.
But he is helping out with a high school team. He can't get away.
It's funny about coaches. He retired and he coaches some more, and I guess it gets in your blood.
Yeah, well, you can't get it out, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was going to say that when Cannon made his run in '89, not '89, made the run in 1969. 1969. He won the Heisman Trophy then. Bob Deering and I were in the stands, along with the other 2 million people that said they saw him. Everybody saw it.
Stadium only held whatever.
60,000. At least 2 million saw it.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Brett had a shot at him, didn't he? Or was he on the side?
Butch
had the shot.
Butch
at him.
Kopinski missed him.
How good of an athlete was Cannon? I mean,
Cannon was a heck of a. He was so fast.
What made him so special? Was he just
big and fast?
Big back then.
You know, he won like track. He was like 100-yard national champion, I think, one year. But yeah, he was a heck of a
So
track.
he was just big, strong,
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, and what happened, in my opinion, Johnny Vaughan was coaching at Ole Miss, and Paul Diesel at LSU, and Diesel it was one of the most boring ball games you could ever go to, because they punted on third down and played defense, and they punt on third down.
Can you imagine in
No.
today's world?
And Diesel had a rule: if the ball hit on the 20, don't pick it up.
Mhm.
Well, it bounced and hit Cannon right in the chest on the 11-yard line. I think it scared the hell out of him, and he just ran over everybody.
He just took over. He said, "I'm gonna be in so much trouble. I better score."
Didn't Ole Miss drive back down the field like that?
Oh, they got to the 4-yard line, and Max and
Max was
and Cannon.
had like 3 tackles on
Yeah.
those 4 plays.
So that's kind of
Keep him out
the
of the end
forgotten
zone.
part. I never
Yeah.
knew that.
People all just remember the run, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ole Miss was on the 4-yard line, first and goal.
I never knew that.
And Max
Yeah.
knocked him down 3 times.
Huh.
So Max could have been a heck of a pro football player, but blew his knee out.
Yeah.
Longtime friend, in fact, godfather for one of my children, I'm godfather
Okay.
for one of his. But,
Did you know the guys across the river back
yeah.
then? You
Yeah.
knew all those guys?
Yeah, one time we used to fight over girls over there all the time. But
That didn't stop.
no,
That's probably
Yeah,
still going on today if I had to guess.
we all knew each other, and summertime we hang out on the lake. Everybody at Lake St. John, particularly, everybody's skiing and swimming, and you just got to know everybody in the whole area.
Yeah.
Eat Waterproof, the Poboys from up at Waterproof, Doomy, what did Doomy's name? Went to Auburn, I can't think of it. Price,
Yeah.
Doomy Price went to Auburn and played at Auburn. So,
Leo Young also went to Auburn.
yeah,
Are you a state fan? Do you still follow? Is
I
that
follow
the team that you follow? Or?
Well, my wife is an Ole Miss fan, and I'm a State fan, so we chose the Saints to choose to root for. And
So
I
you
had,
both lost.
particularly this year. But I had season tickets to the Saints for 31 years, and actually my tickets went back to charter tickets in 1967,
Wow.
but they belonged to Bernard Wood, and then I gradually bought them from Bernard, so that as far as the Saints knew, our tickets were charter tickets. So we got some perks. In fact, I saw 2 Super Bowls in New Orleans because of that. And but I was on what they call the Saints Fan Advisory Board for 5 years down there with the Saints. And our job was, when the new regime came in at that time, our job was to try to create more excitement and more season tickets holders. They said at the time we went down that only 8% of the season ticket holders came from outside of metropolitan New Orleans.
Okay.
So they decided to go into the dome and pick people from out of state to try to create some more excitement. And when we left in 2005, 32% of them were coming from outside. So it's quite a change. And there was a guy named Arnold Felco that was in charge of football operations. And that's when Hurricane Katrina hit.
Yeah.
And they moved the team to San Antonio. And Tom Benson, who was the owner of the Saints, started making noises about staying in San Antonio.
I was living in I was living in Baton Rouge at that time. I'm gonna ask them if they can turn it down. I was in Baton Rouge. I remember that season well, and I remember the Miami Dolphins coming and played at Tiger Stadium and all of that stuff.
Well, the ironic thing was that when Benson started making noises about staying in San Antonio, the people in New Orleans were rising up and calling him everything in the world.
Yeah.
And Arnold Felco said, "No, we're not. We're going to stay in New Orleans."
Yeah.
He said, because I brokered the deal with brokered the deal with with Governor Foster in Louisiana to get the Saints some money. And he said, "We're going back." Well, Benson didn't like that, and he fired him. So this was a guy I had been working with named Felco. Well, the people in New Orleans didn't like that, so they picked him up when he went to New Orleans and ran him for city council. He became president of the city council. And Vincent had to work with him. But Felco later went back into baseball. So
Well, he had Hapalodi and Buddy Delaberto in his corner too, right?
yeah, he did.
It was
Yeah,
called.
that's two good guys there.
Absolutely.
It was called a fan advisory board.
Yeah.
You got to know Mickey Loomis pretty good through that, didn't you?
No, I didn't really get to know Mickey that well.
Okay.
I mean, I knew who he was, but Mickey was mostly on the football side. Arnold was on the business side. His job was to try to get more people into the dome, which of course he eventually did with all the, sold out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any suggestions you made that they kind of took up on?
No,
They
I did make a comment. Eric Allen was a all-pro cornerback. He
Right.
played for somebody, and then we got him.
His Vikings, yeah.
Yeah, and so I asked the question that day. I said, Eric Allen, I know, is a great football player. Why do we keep getting 5'10", 5'11" cornerbacks to guard against 6'5", 6'6" receivers? Well, they can jump. I said, so can those big guys.
They could jump too.
So, but I didn't make any progress. They didn't do it.
Yeah.
Just like this year with all my suggestions, they didn't.
I was about to say
In front of
they
the TV
probably
set.
didn't have a shortage of volunteers wanting to be on the fan advisory committee. They've got about 68,000 advisors every week. Their seat.
At least.
What about that the 2009 run though? That was an amazing year.
Yeah, it was, and it was.
That was a lot of fun.
Oh,
Did you have season tickets that
yeah,
year?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our season, we started in '92 and ran up to this year, but my wife Annette has had some trouble with her knees.
Yeah.
She has asthma, so they can't operate on her knees. Can't clear her lungs.
Yeah.
So the last two ball games we went to last year, she couldn't even walk to the dome. She's doing better now. In fact, she's walking around the slot machines right now. So she never had any trouble with that.
Yeah.
She just had trouble going to the dome.
Yeah.
But so this year I said, and I think I picked a good year to get rid of my tickets.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. It's been a rough one.
Do you think Dennis Allen will be hanging around?
I don't see how. Well, Carmichael's going to go. That's for sure. The offensive coordinator is going to go. But one of the things that and you watch it like I do. You got Jimmy Graham, who's I know not the Jimmy Graham that he used to be, but he's 6'7", a basketball player, and they've thrown him 2 passes this year, both of them touchdowns.
Yeah.
And when they get in the red zone, they don't even put him in. They finally did last week. Throw the ball up and let him get the thing. That's what you got him there for.
Yeah.
Don't even use him. That Derek Carr, I thought was going to be good. I just didn't remember him having so much trouble in the red zone. He just can't seem to. He's just one of those guys that can't function in the red zone for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either. I was expecting not big things, but I was expecting them to win the division.
Oh yeah.
Because it's such a poor division, and I was expecting them to win the division by
Well,
2,
think
3,
about
4
it, too,
games.
is you got these guys like Cam and Jordan and getting older, and it's like, man, I need to do something for these guys or not.
On paper, they look like they have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
To me,
Well,
maybe I'm just being a homer. I don't know, but they look like they have a lot of talent. On
Well,
paper.
Cam Jordan is not doing what he used
No,
to do.
he's
He
not.
can't do it. Mario Davis is still very active, but it shows up when somebody can run 250 yards on you. It shows that something's wrong somewhere.
I tell you what, the last couple of years with Breeze, he couldn't quite throw it down, and I was like, come on, throw and this and that. But then as soon as he left, I was like, okay, we were slow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's your favorite Saint of all time? You have one?
Favorite Saint? Probably would be Archie Manning. And then I guess Drew Brees. But, being a running back, I admire Christian McCaffrey out at San Francisco. I think
Man, that guy's special. Isn't he?
he can catch the ball, he can run, he can block. It's a shame that the NFL has let the running backs become such a non-existent type part of the offense,
Yeah.
except when they need them. 3rd and 1, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to call on a receiver to come in there and run the ball.
We talk about Archie.
Yeah.
That was such a big coup when y'all got him to speak for the football foundation. I'm sure you probably had something to do with that too.
Well, actually, it was some of the others that had gone to Ole Miss with Archie and had got him to come there. And we're talking about the Miss Lou chapter of the National Football
You want to
Foundation.
talk about that a little bit?
Well, it's a group that is a national group. In fact, they just had a big conference out in Las Vegas, and they chose Bo Nix as their Campbell Award winning out there, which is not the Heisman, but pretty close to it.
Yeah.
Because it's based on academics as well as football.
I thought you were going to say based on how many years he plays.
It
It's a shoe-in.
sounds like Barney Pooh playing football back in the old days. Because Barney played about 6 years when you could do with 4.
Yeah.
But
Somebody said on TV yesterday, they said doctors are supposed to go to be in college for 8 years, not football players. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
So they voted Nix.
Yeah, but anyhow, the local chapter, we raised money for the scholarships to high school seniors who played football, but we're not, in most cases, it has to be with academics and what they do in the community. And for an example, if we have a scholarship for XYZ player and he gets a scholarship to State or Ole Miss or wherever, we won't give him that scholarship. He's not eligible. But if he goes through his 4 or 6 years
Yeah.
and it wants to go on and get his doctorate or his master's, then we'll give him the scholarship. But so it's not designed for the star player, unless they're not going to basically play football. They're going on with academics. So we try to have the Joe Fortunato Allen Brown tournament, golf tournament, and raise $10,000 to $12,000 so we can cover the scholarships.
So when is that? Is it the same month every year?
Yeah, first weekend in May.
First weekend in May? Okay.
First Saturday weekend.
Yeah, banquet's the third Thursday in February, right?
Usually, of course, we're trying to get Terry Bowden over here for that one. But
Yeah, good luck with that now.
he's got fired, so I don't know.
He's got time on his hands.
He's got plenty of time to talk to us.
But there have been some great. Was Paige Cawthorn a speaker one year?
Yeah, Paige was a speaker. We had usually the head coach at Ole Miss State will come. We haven't been that fortunate on Southern Mississippi for some reason for people to come in. Alcorn we've had, but we've had some pretty good coaches speak.
Great coaches.
And of course, a lot of it had to do with Allen Brown and Fortunato, Joe Fortunato being there and having the contacts, which we don't have as individuals. But it's still a great organization. We just meet once a month. We're trying to get Ronnie in with us now, and Joey's always been a big supporter.
I'm looking forward to coming. I wanted to come the other day, and we're a little short at my program at the hospital, and just couldn't get out of there. But it's on my radar. I mean, our buddy Walt talked to me about it too, and
the judge.
The judge, that's right. That's,
Here come the judge.
That's right. When the judge asks you, you got to do it. But let's try to. I guess if you don't have anything else as far as
I just want to know who was the best athlete you played against.
Okay.
Against? Gosh, I don't know. I think
Was Shorty McWilliams in your time?
No. In fact, I broke Shorty McWilliams' record. He was he had the 30 touchdowns when he played at Meridian, and Coach Obie Brown was his coach over there at that time. And but I didn't play against Shorty. It'd be hard to say between basketball and football. I'd like to say that the best natural athlete was Louis Brown. The best all-around athlete I ever saw was Fred Foster.
Yeah.
Of course,
I've heard that a lot too. I've heard.
You've probably heard it from Fred.
Well, that's what
I don't even know Mr. Fred.
He's currently dead, as a friend of mine, Brent Borland, always says. He's currently dead. But when Fred died, I was one of the few that gave his speech and testimony, whatever you want to call it. And I said, I said, in my opinion, Fred Foster was the best all-around athlete to ever come out of Natchez High School. And I said, as most of you here know, that was Fred's opinion also. But I have a funny story on Fred.
He's probably looking now and laughing.
He and Clyde Adams were cousins. As good an athlete as Fred was, he could never get up on water skis. We never could figure out why. But anyhow, one day a little old guy they called Possum came down from Delta State. Who I think he stayed drunk the whole time he was here. But anyhow, we went to the lake, and Possum got up on those skis and skied all over the lake. He didn't weigh 100 pounds hardly. It just killed Fred. So Fred said, I'm going to try again. So we got out there, and I'm driving the boat, Clyde's in the back. Couldn't get Fred up. So finally gave up. And he was getting in the boat. Clyde told him, said, Fred, I know what your problem is. He said, what's that, Clyde? I mean, yeah, what's that, Clyde? He said, well, in order to water ski, you have to have self-confidence. Fred said, if it took self-confidence, I wouldn't need the damn motorboat.
That's a fact, too.
Oh, man. If you want to hang with us for a few minutes, because we normally talk a little college ball, and if you want to hang with us for a few minutes, we could just dive on in and get some of your thoughts on some of this.
I'll try.
Yeah, let's do it. I guess since you're a Mississippi State guy, do you know anything about the coach? What do you think about the hiring?
I don't know a thing about him. You just have to kind of depend sometime on the athletic director, and
yeah,
I think we have a pretty good one up there right now. It's just, I don't know. It's so tough to recruit against. Ole Miss for one, but Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss kind of have a little recruiting problem sometimes. Although given that Ole Miss has done a much better job than we did, I guess.
Recruiting's changed so much too now.
Well, you can't depend on your core people, because if they think they got a better offer, or they can go somewhere and get an
that's
endorsement.
one of the things I wanted to get your opinion on is two things. Your opinion on the transfer portal, and then your opinion on the NIL stuff.
I frankly don't like either one. And I know that the ball players need some money, but they've already gotten it. It's just always under the table.
Yeah.
But I know they need some money, but my thought is, I'm the quarterback, and so I've got a deal with XYZ company, and they're gonna pay me $100,000 to be their spokesman. Now the guy that's trying to protect me is the left tackle. He's not making any money. Now how does he have to feel? Because he's not as, they don't know anything about him.
Yeah, and I think that has become an issue.
No doubt. It's going to get worse.
Yeah.
I think it meshes with your chemistry too when you bring in people who haven't come up with other guys, and that's that's a big part of it.
Well, the example we talked about, Clyde Adams with playing basketball. You don't have that chemistry. You can have all the shooters you want, but you don't have that chemistry. It's tough.
So that's kind of your thoughts on the NIL. What about transfer portal?
Well, I'm not as bad on that, but I think it's too much of it now. It needs to calm down somewhere along the line. But for an example, in my case, when a new coach came in at basketball at Mississippi State, I could tell that we weren't going to get along.
Mm-hmm.
And he ran a different ball set than I was used to playing. And I couldn't adjust, and he wasn't going to change it. But I would have had trouble transferring. Because back in those days, you basically couldn't.
Yeah.
So that part's okay. If a coach
changes, I think that's fair.
But even the coaches can change all they want to, but at the time they didn't let the ball players do it, and that part's okay up to a point. But I think it's just gotten where it's more of a recruiting of the portal guys to come in. And Joey pointed out, it's still a chemistry thing, and you can get all the top-notch players you want.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a chemistry in the locker room,
how did sports help you when you went into politics?
Well, it helped me a whole lot because of name recognition, and And also, my dad and two uncles had H.F. Byrne department store, so the Byrne name was out there. In fact, the first time I ran for Alderman in 1966, it was Henry A. Tony Byrne, because people remembered my dad, and so I used both names.
That's a good political move.
Yeah, but it helped me a lot in many respects because of name recognition, which you need. And of course, one is Alderman in '66, foolishly not realizing that civil rights was coming in and all the hell was going to break loose.
But you handled that so well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It was tough times and it's scary.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you look back on it, very scary.
Yeah, and anybody watching this, we actually sat down a little while back. I can't remember exactly what episode, but if you Google Miss Lou Champion Spotlight Tony Byrne, there's a great interview with us in the studio, and we talked a lot about the civil rights stuff and some of the things that you faced through that. And, I appreciate you doing that. I've got so much great feedback from that interview, and I thought it was interesting.
Well, it's interesting is a good word.
Well, you had to deal with a lot of different personalities being part of a team as well.
Well, and and I think I told the story about playing basketball against black ball players for the first time at Mississippi State. Still claims that when they went to the NCAA tournament, that was the first time they played against black ball players, where we'd played against them 7, 8 years prior to that. For some reason, they don't want to admit that. I don't know why.
That doesn't sound as good. The play out is good.
Yeah, but it was, just thinking about the civil rights. I don't remember if we said this or not, but I didn't know this too much later because I considered myself foolish or brave, whatever it was. But I lived at 914 State Street as you go down State Street back up to Arlington, and I didn't have a place to park. You went over the curb and parked in a little covered, not covered area, just out in the open. And I didn't know till later on, because of the bombings and the killings, that J.T. Robinson, who was chief of police and couldn't trust a lot of his department because they were leaning towards the Klan and were in the Klan at the time, he would come by at night when I got home, and he would put a piece of tape underneath the hood of my car, and he'd check it the next morning. If that tape was broken, it meant there was a bomb underneath it.
Wow.
So he checked that out, and I didn't know that for a
They were
long
scared
time.
that the Klan was going to
bomb me, yeah.
bomb you. Yeah. Wow.
And then you worry about your family because, they would be with me in the car.
Yeah. Well, you're making some pretty big stands for that time.
Oh, yeah. Well, we all had to because
Yeah.
it was, it was open war
Yeah.
at the time. But anyhow, it turned out pretty good. And it was a devil to go through. But anyhow, in politics, that did help me with the name recognition, basketball, football. And that certainly did help me get into it.
Yeah.
And stay a long time.
Yeah, you did that.
You had to be a little competitive to be in politics. Huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, you have to.
What about I want to hear both of your thoughts on this. Is the the hot topic on Sunday? I think the internet almost blew up. Was the college football?
Yeah.
And I've thought about it all week to try to. I said I got to go on camera and justify if I agree with it and I could. I mean, it's a cop out to say, but I could see it from all angles. I mean, I can understand if I'm a Florida State fan, I'm very upset and I feel cheated. I'm like, what else could we have done? I'm an LSU guy, so I'm obviously not a huge Alabama fan. But if you look, I think what it comes down to for me, and then I'll see what you guys' thoughts are. But I think you had Michigan. You had Washington. And then I think it comes down to Texas, Alabama, and Florida State. Well, Texas won against head up. So Texas has got the 3. I think that all makes perfect sense. And then I think whenever it comes down to Alabama, Florida State, if you look at it, Florida State, just didn't have the wins. I mean, Alabama beat the number 1 team. They beat they beat a good Ole Miss team. They beat what ended up being a decent LSU team. I mean, now that some people argue the other side too, that they had some close calls, but I all in all, long story, I guess. I think they got it right. I think they went with what I would have went with too. What are your?
It just blows my mind that a number 8 team can jump a number 4 team is undefeated. I mean, and I get it, but and then you say, well, the 4 best teams, well, then Georgia ought to be in there instead of Washington.
So you're saying Georgia's the number 6 team now? Like it makes no sense.
But it's all about what are people going to watch? Michigan versus Florida State or Michigan versus Alabama?
Yeah. So you think it's more of a ratings play?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's money.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's money, and I think Florida State's quarterback getting hurt had an awful lot to do with it, and it's probably going to show up in a bowl game sooner or later. That although they say the second-team quarterback is coming back for Florida State and that he's a pretty good athlete,
Yeah.
we'll find out. But
and like you say, if Florida State beats or plays with Georgia, then they can say, hey, see, we should have been there.
Yeah.
And another thing, when Texas beat Alabama, Alabama's quarterback was not what he is now.
Yeah, he's gotten much better.
And I think that has a lot to do with it. You can lose early in the season. By the end of the season, you've been tested. And Alabama played a pretty doggone good. Well, it plays in the SEC, so that's something. I think the SEC could have ended up with nobody in that.
They sure could. Absolutely.
Probably the closest they've ever come to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Auburn would have beat Alabama, you're right.
Well, I think probably overall they got it right based on the quarterback being hurt.
Yeah.
It's led to some good New Year's Day bowl games.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, it does.
Well, I'm looking over at the clock. I know Dustin's going to kick me if we go too far over, but I guess we'll wrap up with this. Is we've got Alabama and Michigan, and we've got
Texas
and Washington. So what are your thoughts on those games, and then who do you think wins the whole thing?
I'm Alabama, Texas, and I think Alabama's going to win it.
That's kind of where I fall too.
Yeah, I agree with Joe and both of you. I think Alabama, particularly with the quarterback playing the way he's playing, and particularly running the ball, and I would think so, but I kind of hope so for the SEC because I'm an SEC person.
Yeah, Texas is pretty hot, but I don't know. It's hard to, Saban, man. Like we said 100 times, don't
ever count it.
That little odd-shaped ball bounces a little funny.
It does. It sure does. Well, man, we certainly appreciate it, Joe. You got anything you want to end with? Or?
Man, it was a blast.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed being here and discussing something other than politics.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's certainly an honor for. I know I speak for Joey too. It's an honor for us to have you here. And we have an open door policy for you. Anytime you want to come hang with us, and I'm sure the ratings will be higher than just us two knuckleheads. So it works out in all areas. So we appreciate it, and we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Tim with our Take It to the Bank Locks of the Week.
'Tis the season to win our 40 grand dashing into cash and $10,000 New Year New Money grand prize. It's time to unwrap over $70,000 in winnings. It's always a good time. Visit MagnoliaBluffsCasino.com.
All right, guys, we want to say thank you so much to Mr. Tony Byrne. Man, that was awesome. What a guy. As Coach Faircloth would say, what a guy. Man, we just always love hanging out with him and soaking up his knowledge on whatever he's talking about.
Man, every time I see him, he's got a great story.
Yeah, I know. And now we've got Tim, who we
don't have so many stories.
From Mr. Tony to Tim, here we go.
Tough act to follow.
We're always glad to have Tim too. No, it is a tough act to follow, isn't it?
It's like a walking history book.
That's right. So before we get to our Take It to the Bank Locks of the Week, we'll talk about a few things that the casino has coming up. Let's talk about New Year's Eve. Man, you got some good bands coming in.
Man, I can't.
Those 29th, 30th, and 31st. You got some good bands
That's right. That's right.
Next few days.
Yeah, I can't believe it's already. We're close to Christmas and going to be closing the chapter on this year already. But we got a lot of stuff planned still at the casino throughout the holiday season. We've got promotions going on. Certainly, lots of football and college basketball and everything to be seen. So, if you got to get away from your family for a little bit, we welcome everybody down to the Sportsbook. We've got an action-packed New Year's Eve. We've got bands, like Ronnie said, the 29th. We have
Emerson Hill.
That's right. 30th, we've got Lincoln Outfit.
Yeah.
31st, we've got
Bass Rhythms and Grooves.
Bass Rhythm and Grooves. I think they're out of Jackson.
Yeah.
Real diverse mix of music. 3 great nights. Looking forward to a lot of fun. Then, of course, traditional New Year's Eve celebration. We'll have champagne and a toast at midnight. We got a drawing shortly thereafter, and then we followed up. First day of the new year, we'll be doing a grand prize giveaway. Somebody's going to walk out of here $5,000 richer. So lots of reasons still to come down. Check out the casino this holiday season. Lots of promotions and fun stuff going on.
And then got some stuff going on in the community too. We got something that we're going to come out and be a part of on the 12th. Joey don't even know about this yet.
What you do? VIP room?
I think we're going to use the stage that day. Maybe we'll get you lunch in the VIP room.
But no, this is going to be really cool. It's for Natchez, Adams County Humane Society, and the Stew Pot, which I know that you're like us, big supporters of both of those charities. Tell us a little bit about what the casino is going to be doing.
So I mean, we've talked about it before on here, right? We're so blessed to have this community welcome us in on our ownership group. Feels very proud of the property that we have here, and believes strongly in being part of the community. And I'm just blessed to be the steward that gets to do a lot of this fun stuff. But they reached out a couple weeks ago and they said, in tradition of giving for the holiday season, they want to do some checks for some local organizations. They said, who can we help support that supports the community and makes a meaningful difference. And 2 organizations came to mind right away. The first one being Stew Pot. For folks that don't know, the Stew Pot serves meals 365 days a year in this community. Ms. Johnny and Tree do a lot of the work 6 days a week. They're cranking out 300 meals on average a day. Every Sunday, the churches rotate, and different church comes in so that they can get a day off. But doesn't matter what day of the week it is, what week of the year it is, and it doesn't matter who you are. They have no judgment. They open their doors to anybody. The mayor can go have a lunch there. I can have lunch there, or anybody who needs a meal. They're there. They've got great folks that volunteer that deliver meals. If you can't get out of your house and you need some meals delivered to you, you can reach out to them. So it's just an awesome organization. Yeah. My wife and I were lucky enough to volunteer with them, and we deliver meals some Sundays, and we believe strongly in what they're doing. So we're going to be presenting them a $20,000 check on the 12th, next Tuesday. And then, of course, our furry little friends down at the Humane Society. We all know there's a lot of cats around town, a lot of dogs, and the Humane Society stays at capacity almost constantly. They've been very good to everybody that I know. Everybody, I think, has a story about the Humane Society helping out. I know my wife and I were blessed with a second dog out of the blue about a month back. Somebody unfortunately left a dog on the side of the road that found its way onto our property. And once we were able to get it to come to us, I called up some of our friends that help out with the Humane Society, and they set me right up, taking it to the Natchez vet and getting it taken care of. And we thought we were going to foster that dog, and my wife had other plans, so now we have 2 dogs. But I can't say enough for what that organization does. And so we're going to be presenting them with a $20,000 check as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Joey doesn't know yet, but some of that's going to come out of his paycheck. So some of that's going to come out of yours. But
so that's
next.
That's next Tuesday, right here at Magnolia Bluffs.
December the 12th.
December the 12th, right at 4:00. We'll be over by the stage. We'll have light hors d'oeuvres, some seasonal cocktails, water, coffee, whatever 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 you like to drink. And about 4:30, the mayor's going to come down. He's got a special announcement about the city using some of the community development funds that the casino gives every year to the city to fund the build out of a new building to expand the capacity of the Humane Society. So he's going to be here making that announcement, although I just kind of made it for him. And we're going to be giving these checks out. 4 o'clock next Tuesday. We're very excited and very thankful for the community.
Awesome. Yeah, and Joey can relate to the Humane Society. A lot of people don't know that's actually how he got married. He just kept showing up, and his wife took him in eventually and kept him. She tried to give him away like 3 times.
I thought you were going in a different direction. I thought you were going to say that's where he sleeps when his wife puts him in the doghouse.
She kept him after a while. None of the neighbors wanted him.
Familiar with the
None of the neighbors would take him, so she finally ended up just bringing him on in. I think that's close to true. I'm not sure if
it's close enough.
Close enough. And then tonight, we'll be doing the celebrity bartending down at Smoots to raise a little bit more money for the Humane Society.
We're not sure what qualifies as celebrity, but we are going to be there pretending to make drinks and accepting tips. 100% of the tips from everybody who's donating time tonight at Smoots are going to go to the Humane Society as well. Our friends Amy and Nancy and some other great musicians, Willie have donated some time as well. They're going to come down and play some amazing music for us. Awesome. And they've committed to donating any tips that you give them to the Humane Society. So, a lot of opportunities still this year to, if you have it in your heart and in your pocket, to be able to give something. If you can't give money, you can always give time, but there's a lot of great organizations in this community that, especially during the holidays, need some extra help.
Yeah. And on my application to be one of the celebrity bartenders, I just wrote, when it said what qualifies you, I just wrote, I know Joey. And they got right back with me and said,
they were also impressed when you kept going, Norm.
Yeah, that's a lie. I saw his application, and he claimed to be a Tom Cruise fill-in. That's what it said on his application. He said, I used to stunt for Tom Cruise.
I was a stunt double, I never they never put mine in the movie. So I don't know what
they don't know what they missed.
Well, let's jump on there. Let's switch gears here. Let's switch gears here and let's go to our Take It to the Bank locks of the week. So this week, colleges, there's only one game, the Army-Navy game this week. So what we're going to do is, instead of picking a college and a pro, we're just going to go with 2 pros this week. And we got to make some moves on Joey because he's right now, I'm 13-13-1. You're 12-14-1, and Joey's 14-11-2. So we're all pretty close, but we got to go ahead and.
We're running out of weeks.
We're running out of weeks, and we have decided that if he wins, we're going to get the smaller trophies.
It's going to be a ribbon.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and start. Let's just do one at a time here.
Make me change.
Let's do one at a time here.
All right.
Instead of giving both away, my first one, and I'm hiding it from Tim over here. My first one is. Detroit Lions are 3.5-point favorites at the Bears. I'm gonna take the Lions at minus 3.5 on that.
All right.
They're playing some pretty good ball, and I don't know, just kind of enjoy watching the Lions right now. So I'm gonna take the Lions at 3.5 for my first pick.
All right, Joe, you want to go next, or I
sure.
can shoot?
I've got the Falcons -1.
Falcons -1. All right. My first pick is going to be the Cleveland Browns -3 at home against the Jaguars.
Cleveland Brown, where we at? Okay. So that -3, Tim. That's because of the quarterback situation in Jacksonville. Okay, well, Joey, man, you are both on the Falcons train. We're both Dirty Birds this week, I guess.
Okay.
That's gonna be my second pick. I'm gonna take Atlanta -1.
All
right. I've got Chiefs -1.5.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're riding together because I got Chiefs -1.5.
You gonna take it, or
I'm gonna take it.
You gonna try to go in a different?
I'm gonna
you try
take
to
it.
Make up ground.
You can't take that to the bank.
I got to stick with.
You gotta-
I'm still on Swifty train.
Okay. All right. So we've got everything locked in there, and let's see. Yeah, I think we're good to go, and we got a little ground. Let's see. We've got. I guess if we're looking at it like baseball standings, I think I'm a game and a half behind Joey, and you are maybe 2.5 behind Joey. So we're all right there.
Yeah.
And
It's a horse race.
that's right. I see the food over here, but Shannon
I
ran
think
off.
we lost
Where did she
we lost
run
our
off to?
server.
Where did she go? She left us. She was probably over there talking to Mr. Tom.
Probably listening to the story.
She's probably calling Smoots, and y'all really want Ronnie?
Dustin, do you want to bring our? We'll make Dustin substitute here.
Hey, Jimmy.
So
She went and called Smoots and said, y'all really want Ronnie?
I'm gonna give you the shrimp one.
yes, please do that. Please.
We've got all kinds of awesome pseudo celebrity bartenders tonight. Chief Arrington's
Yeah.
doing it first with Lynn, Tate Hobby and Sam Kirby. You got Cole Mosby and Ann Ward. Of course, you and I. And then Lori Paradise and Brandy Colbert as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it'll be a fun night.
come down, see your favorite fill-in bartender. We'll surely make you a stiff drink, and
No doubt about that.
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna.
You
This looks
You
delicious.
got the new mac and cheese.
Yeah,
one with shrimp and one with chicken.
Yeah, I better wait before I fill my mouth up so I'm not smacking on the camera here. That's not good for anybody. But we want to say again, thanks to Mr. Tony for coming out and spending the morning with us. Thanks to all of our awesome partners, including Concordia Sentinel, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Mile 363, I think. So, yeah. Yeah. Thank all the viewers out there. God bless, and as always,
have a champion
day. We wanted to shout out all of our awesome partners, including Hicks Chiks, Trinity Medical, Gregg Vet, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Weeks Furniture, and all of the awesome partners that you see on the screen right now.
Hi, it's Shannon with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. If you like what we're doing, be sure to follow, like, share, and even comment on all our content. Also, visit MissLouChampions.com to sign up for our newsletter and to receive other information, as well as the opportunity to receive some awesome prizes. Thank you, Miss Lou, for your continued support, and as always, have a champion day.